Welcome to Monday course time in Sounducation, where we deal with simplified music theory as our general points of contact. Right. So simplified music theory, we have learned so much now. Last week we talked about the major scale, and now we define the major scale. We talked about how every scale in music is based on a tonal formula, right? And this tonal formula is what gives you the signature sound of any scale, right? Right, and we said this is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, right? For major scale, tone, 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 semitone, tone, semitone, right? So, and I give you guys the assignment of practicing this in every possible key. Tone, semitone, semitone, right? And yeah, so today I want to go along the same lines, but now talk about the same thing, but how we can use this formula, for example, these formulas, for example, to build other kind of skills. Like I said, this is specifically the major scale. That is sound. That is the way it sounds, right? But the other scales, right? And they have their own tonal formulas. So this lesson, I'm really going to talk more, not about them itself, because really we're still going to talk about middle scale, basically, as a major focus. But what I want you to do here is realize that I don't want to give you the idea or make you form the habit of thinking that every music that you hear is based off of the major scale. Yeah, this is simplified music theory, so it's simplified, but the theory still has to be correct. There's a popular misconception among everybody that everything somehow you can use the major scale to explain it, which is true, but I don't want to start seeing the major scale as this almighty scale that everything is based on, even though majority of it is, and I will explain why in this lesson. But also what it will do for you is that it's going to stop the tendency or stop your creative ability when it comes to making music, so that you don't be thinking one-minded all the time. So the major scale basically comes from the idea of cadences, or I would say musical structure, as it was written when music was starting to be formed. This is kind of like a history lesson, but it's going to make sense why I need to do this, right? So as you know, music is not owned by anybody. Everybody has that kind of music, right? So the music that you listen to basically is dependent on who taught you, who introduced you to music, and what you keep on listening to, right? So most of us were the product of Western music and everything Western, either by nature, as in you were born there, or based on inheritance, as in your ancestors had some form of touch in it. Like, for example, I'm Nigerian. I am Nigerian, right? But because my country was a result or came from the British Empire in terms of colonialism, a lot of the things that we do kind of originated from the western side of the world, that is England, right? So even though we have our native music, right, most of the music we use in the country kind of somehow has some roots in Western culture, and Western culture is very, very popular for the use of some particular kind of skills, namely the major scale, right? Yeah, I can talk to some musicians here, since I know that some be here, right? I'm sure you've heard some Yoruba songs that you cannot really pinpoint what musical theory this is based on, or some, for example, like Fuji music, for example. Now, except you're very, very skilled, you not actually know, first of all, what key it's on, or what it's based on, or how to even improvise or even play over it, because I'm so used to, right? And that's one of the biggest examples of how it works, right? our native music is not really based on the idea of the major scale. In fact, our native music may not even be based on the idea of the 12 tonal system. Like this, if you go to India, for example, their music is similar to ours in structure, but they don't use the same tonal frequencies that we use. They don't use this A sharp like that. Their notes are tuned differently, right? So why am I saying this? At some point, you, as a musician, at some point you come across times where you'll be battling different kinds of music that are not from the same origin as the one you are used to. And if you're just a musician that only knows about the major scale, you have a very hard time doing much, right? Because like we said, in the Western culture, the one I talked to you, everything is about tones, semitones, right? Now I'm going to add a third element there called microtone. The word what? The microtone. Now, in actuality, I'm going to use the idea of money to kind of talk about this to make it make sense to you, right? For those who are Nigerians, I'm going to use naira and kobo. For those who are maybe international, I'm going to use the dollar and the cent, right? In Nigeria, the lowest denomination we have is 1 kobo, right? But officially, I think the lowest you can see as of now is probably a 1 naira coin. Now in that 1 naira coin, there are 100 kobos. 100 kobo makes 1 naira, right? So if I want to pay for anything, right, in Nigeria, most likely the lowest I can use to pay for anything is a combination of 1 naira coins. So if something is 5 naira, I can either give them a 5 naira note, or I can use 5 1 naira coins. But I cannot really go lower than 1 naira. And that's because of what the central bank has given me as the currency I should use, right? But in music, it works similarly, but not so. The keyboard here is like our central bank, right? So what the keyboard has given me is the lowest denomination I can use here is the semitone. So if I want to move between the two adjacent notes just by playing, the smallest distance I can move is a semitone, right? There's no smaller distance I can use. But in between this note and this note is a semitone. But that semitone can be broken down into a lot of other frequencies. And these frequencies are also called microtones, in which 1 microtone, 100 microtones is equal to 1 tone. The same way that 2 semitones is equal to 1 tone. 100 microtones is equal to 1 tone. Why this is important? When you start to play with a lot of music, it's going to explain to you why a lot of the music you hear sound off sometimes. Sometimes there's a particular song, this is an assignment for you, right? Now go and listen to this album by Kiefer, Kiefer. Not for the sake of this thing, no, anything. Just listen to it and try to pick a key or try and match any two notes. Like you hear a note, right? Let's say like here it, just hold that note constant and try and match it to any key of the keyboard. It's an entire album. I would say the artist Kiefer has a lot of albums. So but listen to Dope Nerd. Oh, what's the name? Is that nobody? Yeah. What's the name of that album itself? I think it's Dope Nerd. Listen to the song Dope Nerd, DOPNERD. Listen to it and try and see if you can match any notes you hear there on your keyboard. Most likely, if I'm correct, I don't think if that's the song, but I think that song had that issue too. That you will not be able. So just go to the album. Yeah. I can't remember the exact song. Maybe I'll get back to you on that. But I'll give you the song and see if you can match any notes on your keyboard to a note that was played in the song. You'll find that it's just a bit off, just a bit higher or just a bit lower. but it's not exactly the same. That's the idea I'm talking about. So as a musician, you're going to experience these things. So before I start talking about any skills, I want you to understand that this thing you have here is not all that is. Yeah, all the 12 notes of music is not all that is. The reason why we use this is because we came from a Western point of view. We were born in the Western world, so most likely all the music we playing will be based on Western instruments. That's why this keyboard is a Western instrument, hence it has 12 semitones, right? So think about that. At the end of the day, you have to learn the right way. You can't learn the wrong way. So don't ever think that the 12 notes of the keyboard are all you have. You have much more. We'll start with this, but start with the right idea. So that's your assignment. I will send the song on the group chat for you to listen to, and I want you to give me your feedback on that. All right, that is it for day one. I'll see you tomorrow for ear training. See you guys later. Yeah.